Hey everybody, it's Jennifer, and I know it's been a while since I put a video out. I've had a lot going on, but I thought it was definitely time to update you guys, let you know kind of what's going on in my journey with my recent move to the UK. So join me and little Gigi, she's here too, as we kind of give you an update on how things are going. So let's jump right into it. All right, so I am filming this in my new office, which is very exciting. But we are having a bathroom remodeled downstairs, so there is going to be some noise and some banging and things. And I probably should wear my headset, but I'm just now thinking. So there's gonna be some background noise and stuff, and I'm really sorry. I would never be able to film this because this is gonna go on for like the next month. So I definitely, I apologize, but there's gonna be some stuff going on in the background. Right next to me actually is the bathroom radiator and the shutters and a whole bunch of stuff that they pulled up and have been storing up here, but it is what it is. I'm also, as you can see, quite dressed up because I have a job interview in a little bit, so more on that later. But right now what I thought I would do is kind of just update you guys and tell you where we are in our journey. So we got into our house, we got our keys, we landed in the UK at the end of July 31st, actually the last day of July. And, we spent the first couple of months in Airbnbs exploring the area that we wanted to settle in. And then we started looking for a house. Now, a question that I have gotten a lot since I've been here, but I don't think I've really addressed this with you guys so much, is where we settled, where we did. So we are in the southwest area. I want to be a bit vague just for the protection of privacy, but we basically picked this area because ChatGPT helped me find it. Alex is a remote worker. I didn't have a job here, so he basically said, you find your place. You find where in the UK you feel like you might find belonging and where you might like to live. He is from Manchester, but I kind of knew early on that Manchester was not my place just because I'm not really a city gal anymore. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for about 10 years, so I did the city thing when I was much younger, and I'm just at a place in my life where I appreciate much more of a small town vibe, but I also appreciate connections and ability to get to the city when I want to. So I am within 20 minutes of a fairly large city, and I am just about an hour from London as well. So I feel like I'm in a really good place as far as getting to the places that I want to go. But also I kind of love the little small hamlet, if you will, that I have found. ChatGPT, when I started those conversations with ChatGPT about where I wanted to live, it was things based on weather, safety, housing prices was a big part of it, connections, trains, buses, ability to get to places, because I think I've mentioned previously, I don't plan on driving here. I drove so much in the US, an hour and a half sometimes commute spread across multiple locations in a day on interstates, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, driving is a very big stressor for me. I've had a couple of accidents that make me a very nervous driver, and I just don't want to do it anymore. So I don't plan on it. So connections was a big part of it. And just kind of overall community, that sort of thing. So that is the things that I told ChatGPT were important to me, and I was like, hey, can you help me find the right place? And consistently over and over and over again, this area that we're in kept popping up. So we landed July 31st. We stayed in some Airbnbs in the area to explore different towns, different villages, different cities in the area. And ultimately we kind of decided on a place, and we started looking for a house. So we found the house that we wanted, which was another interesting story because we actually first looked at this house in May when we first had an idea that might be the area that we wanted to settle in. This house was listed for sale. We looked at it and I was just like, there's just kind of too many things that I'd want to do to it right away. It's a bit stressful. Let me see if I can find something a bit more turnkey ready. When we're actually ready to move, we weren't ready to purchase then either. And then that house went through, it went under offer, and apparently that offer fell through. And by the time we were ready to look again and like really serious about finding one, this house actually came back, and it came back chain free. So that is the reason that we got into this house so quickly and everything worked out so well. So I kind of feel like it was meant to be. When I looked at this house the second time, it was empty. And when it was empty, I just felt like the possibilities just kind of, it made a lot more sense. Another thing is my mother-in-law had imparted on me that people do updates to houses all the time here. It's just not a big deal. If you don't like your kitchen, you can do a remodel. If you don't like your bathroom, you can have a new bathroom put in. Whereas in the US, it is so difficult, at least where we lived, to find people to do that. Like there was waiting lists for years that a lot of times people just move house because it's a 30-day process. It's very easy to get in and out of a house and go to the next one. So there kind of is less renovation, less remodeling, and more, hey, if you don't like your kitchen, find a house with a kitchen that you like. I know that seems crazy to a lot of people, but buying and selling houses in the US is pretty easy to do, and getting people in to do remodels, they're also very expensive, and it's very hard to get people. So we've been here, again, we got the keys on October 3rd. We've done several projects already. The bathroom is the last thing on our list to do. And it's been amazing. The people have been amazing that they've come in. I've been able to get people to start right away. And prices have been, you know, very affordable as far as in comparison to what it might cost you in the US to do similar things. So I've got no complaints about any of this, and I love this house. I have to say, I really love this house. I really love this area. I know I have only been here almost 6 months. It'll be 6 months at the end of January, but I love this house. I love this area, and I think it was the right area for me. So thank you, ChatGPT, for finding this place, and I'm super grateful that we found our place. So what I wanted to next do today is I wanted to go through just some things that I've been here, like I said, almost 6 months. So these are really going to be my thoughts on some things so far. These are things that from the get-go, people said, these are things you won't like if you move to the U. People who were not, who weren't excited about our move necessarily, or people who are not excited about the UK. They said there are certain things, and even some UK people that we saw in online forums and groups and stuff that are like, oh, you don't want to move to the UK because of blah, 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 blah. These are the things that were on those lists. And I want to give you my thoughts on them. Because again, I've been here almost 6 months, so I feel like I do have a little bit of insight. So I'm going to try to push ahead because I don't want this video to be crazy long. But the first thing is the weather. Everybody said you'll hate the weather. It's going to rain all the time. It's going to be gray and miserable all the time. I have to tell you, I have been so happy with the weather since we've been here. I have been so happy with the weather. Like I said, I got here at the end of July. I have had 3 distinct seasons. Summer was warm. Our house actually has air conditioning already installed in multiple rooms. It is not the only house we looked at in this area that has air conditioning installed. In fact, the Airbnbs that we stayed in had air conditioning installed. So it seems that it has gotten so much warmer because of global warming in the last several years that summers have gotten what many would call hot now. But for me, it was perfect. It was wonderful. There wasn't a whole lot of rain. Most of the days were blue skies. It's still that way. And then when we started moving into autumn, it was this crispness that came in the air, this just wonderful, oh my gosh, it's pumpkin season. Like it just hit so hard, so fast, and it was amazing. And then we came back, we went to America in December to visit my family. We came back, you know, at the end of December, and it was winter. We've actually had snow since I've been here. Now, it wasn't a huge snow, but it was enough snow that everything was covered. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's winter and it's snow. I feel like I've gotten 3 distinct seasons. I don't know what spring's gonna be like, but so far I've been so happy. And yeah, there's some rainy days. Of course there are. It rains everywhere. But one thing I've noticed about the rainy days that I wasn't prepared for is when people talk about rain in the UK, I thought they meant there's going to be just torrential downpours and drenching, but it's actually kind of like a drizzly rain, and the problem isn't from above, it's from below. So the first few times I went out to town or something, went for a walk in the rain, I was soaking wet, like up to my knees, and it's because the ground is so flat that there's puddles that just sit and rainwater that just gathers. Poor Gigi, she cannot go for a walk in the rain, and I really do hate this for her because her belly gets so muddy and dirty. It just gets covered and gross, and it's because the water is just standing and it splashes up on her. So that's something that we've learned. But for the most part, most of my days in the UK have been blue skies, clear days, and really seasonally appropriate weather. I have 0 complaints, and in fact, I've been really, really happy with the weather. I really have. So that brings me to the next point, which is the winter. All of these people, especially in these expat groups and stuff, all of these individuals said, winter in the UK is just hell on earth, basically. It gets dark at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's so unbearable. I have to tell you, it's not that bad from my point of view. There was a period right before we left for Christmas where it did get dark very, very early in the day, but that's already gone away now. It's already like post-Christmas because of the solstice. It's already getting, lighter for longer. It wasn't that bad. And actually there was something about it that I really kind of liked and appreciated, because it was kind of like this Christmas is coming kind of feeling. When it was starting to get dark earlier and it started to get so cold in the evening because the sun was all gone, you just knew like Christmas was coming, and it made me very excited. So I don't know, like maybe the further north you go, if you're into Scotland, etc., like that really makes a big difference. But I didn't feel like it was that bad. And when it was daylight, like say between the hours of like 9 and 3, we still had clear skies and the sunshine was out. It wasn't warm, but the sunshine was making an appearance. Like you could still get some rays and some vitamin D outside. So I don't know, like I kind of had this thought that I would really hate the UK winter and it would make me so depressed and all of these things, but it was fun. It felt like winter. It felt like Christmas is coming and it was exciting, and now it's already starting to go away. And it was in the 50s Fahrenheit yesterday, which is also, a bit strange in the middle of winter. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be kind of like what spring's going to be when spring starts to creep in a little bit? But yeah, I have no complaints. Winter was great. Okay, the next thing, NHS. So I have used the NHS since I've been here. I was able to get assigned to a surgery or a GP's office or a doctor's office very quickly. I was able to get in, and they immediately messaged me and told me that I needed a cervical cancer screening because of my age. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. So something that is different is that is like once every, I can't remember what they said, 3 to 5 years rather than yearly, which is what my screening was in the US, which is fine. I've never had, any reason for them to increase that. So that's fine. And while I was there, I told them about a medical issue that had been watching in the US. I had a lump that popped up that was picked up on ultrasound. That was a bit strange, and we were just in a watch and see kind of thing every 6 months to see if anything changed or if it could potentially look like something that needed to be biopsied or etc. So I told the nurse that, and she said make an appointment with the GP, talk to him about it, and we'll see what can happen. Now, I kind of had in my mind that I would be paying for that ultrasound out of pocket, just because if they didn't feel a need to do it, just because it was a let's watch and see basis, and I was prepared to do that. So we went, and my husband and I, we met with the GP. We showed him the scan results previously and what was going on. And he said, well, let's just go ahead and do a scan. Let's just go ahead and do a scan, and we'll let the breast cancer experts, we'll let them see what they say, and we'll just do a scan. And I was like, okay, great. I had my appointment within like 2 weeks. 2 weeks for the ultrasound. So went to the hospital. They did the ultrasound. They said, oh, it's gone now, basically. Like, it's dissolved. We think it was just like some fibrous tissue or whatever. Great. We don't need to see you again. Everything is fine. If you have any experiences or changes or feelings or anything that seem weird or whatever, come right back. We'll do it again. And I'm just like, mind is blown. Again, I've heard all of these complaints, but this has been so amazing to me. I got in the doctor. My husband has an appointment right now. He called, I think, a week or two ago, and he's got an appointment at the GP next week. So we've gotten in very quickly. There hasn't been these crazy wait times, and we've paid nothing, which has been so amazing. It's been so amazing. I'm so used to in the US, when you leave, they'll say, oh, we'll bill you, and it's always a surprise. You don't know what the numbers are going to look like. But yeah, I have no complaints about the NHS. My doctor was nice. He was super friendly. Everybody at the hospital who did the ultrasound that worked in the clinic and stuff, oh my gosh, they were so nice, so wonderful. The clinicians, everybody. So I think the NHS has been great. I have no complaints. It's been great for me so far. Okay, next, food. So all of these things online you can find about how the UK has the worst food, blah, blah, blah. I have mentioned this in previous videos, but I just want to reiterate it. The food in the UK is incredible. I am a foodie. As I've mentioned previously, I have undergone a tremendous weight loss in my life, and I've written a book about my experience that you can find on Amazon if you're interested. So there's a self-plug. But I'm a foodie. At heart, I am a foodie. I love food. I love trying new foods. I love pushing my culinary boundaries. I love food. And I love to cook as well. And the food in the UK has been just absolutely amazing. The quality is so good. What you get at the grocery store is so good. Restaurant food, like, you just feel like people really care. Like, they really care about what they're creating and the reputation it's going to leave for that establishment, etc. And I'm not just talking about like fine dining and upscale restaurants. I'm talking about your local kebab shop, etc. They all put like so much effort into just making sure you have a nice meal and you're happy with the price that you're paying for what you get. And I've just been really impressed with the quality of food. I have my first upcoming big dining experience. I'm going to save that information for right now, but in February. And I'm so excited about that. But yeah, food in the UK is 10 out of 10. All right, the next thing is community. Another thing that I heard in all of these expat groups and different forums and things were that it was very difficult to find community in the UK, that it was cliquish and people knew each other forever and they had their community groups and it was really hard for someone to break into that. That has not been my experience at all. Everyone has been so nice to me, and I have been able to find so many social clubs, including one for women my age that I have made several friends at. And when I say friends, I'm talking about people that I know that I could call and say, hey, I need you. Can you help me? Already, again, I've been here since July. I feel like I have real community here. I feel like I have people who care about me, who check on me, who I get to go do social things with, and that is really exciting. So I would say that is also not my experience. Community is out there. You may have to do a little work to seek it out. And the first time that I went to one of these meetups by myself was just so horrific. I mean, the awkwardness of like, hi, I'm new, my accent sounds funny, and I'm obviously different, bizarre, blah, blah, blah. It was weird. It really was weird and uncomfortable, but you just do it. You do it, and everybody was cool and welcoming, and that led into me going multiple times, and like I said, now I have a lot of friends via those connections. So honestly, I haven't felt that way. So I've seen those comments, but that has not been my experience. So far, I have been singing all the praises because I really do love it here. So far, I am very, very happy, and I really do love it here. But there are some things that are not so perfect and amazing. And I would not be being true and genuine to my experience if I didn't share those. So the first thing is the job market. The job market in the UK, from my perspective, is one of the craziest things I have ever seen. I have applied to, I think, a little over 100 jobs now. Today is my second interview that I've had. It seems so difficult to break into the job market. And the interview that I have today is not necessarily my background and not necessarily my field. But that is how I've had to be really creative and kind of branch out and think of, what skills do I have and what jobs could I do? And I'm not the only one that's had this experience. I've spoken to numerous people online. It's a very common thing in expat groups that it's difficult to get a job in the UK right now, but not just expat groups. The friends that I've made here also know that the job market is insane right now. So that is one thing that has been really, really tough. I keep trying, and I'm going to keep trying. Hopefully, today it could be amazing if I could get an offer from today's interview. But a 2% interview rate with no offer yet is pretty abysmal. And I even had, sorry about that. But I even had one job that when they sent me a rejection, they told me they had over 800 applicants. I've had numerous rejection letters that state between 300 and 400 applicants. So when you're competing with those kind of numbers, I mean, that's really, really, really tough. It's really tough. And so, that is the one thing that I will say. The job market in the UK seems really crazy at the moment. And I keep hoping that I'm going to find my place, because that is also a part of community, feeling like you're contributing to society, all the things, not to mention money. So I really I'm pushing forward. I keep trying, but that's been pretty shocking. The next thing has been dental. Dental has been crazy. So there is NHS dental, but good luck getting in. And if you want routine maintenance, good luck with that on the NHS. Again, from my experience and perspective and what I've encountered in my area, dental is pretty much private. If you want to have 2 cleanings a year, which is what I had in the US, which is what is standard, that's like the ADA, the American Dental Association recommendation, is cleanings twice a year, to see the dentist twice a year, and to have x-rays once a year. You have to pay out of pocket for that. So that is what we've had to do. And also, it's expensive. Dental in the US, I think, costs us something like $25 a month for all that I just mentioned. as far as insurance goes. Now, if you need work done or something like that, that's obviously, far more expensive. But just your routine maintenance, I'm so sorry, guys. I know that drill is so annoying. I'm so sorry. Push pause instead of trying to compete with it. Hopefully I get a little break, but dental is expensive. So what we have done is we want to maintain the same dental schedule. They have they offer their own insurance in-house. Basically, you pay monthly, you get the 2 cleanings a year. We've already seen the dentist. They said we'll only get to see them once a year, which I guess is good because it means we don't have any issues that they feel like they need to see twice a year, because God knows, they could make money on that. So I guess that's a good thing. But it's been kind of shocking. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the train system. There is good and bad here. They are absolutely amazing. The trains are so good, so efficient. I love riding the train. You just get on, you just zone out, you get where you're going. You don't have to drive there. You can do stuff while you're moving. You can read, you can scroll Facebook, whatever. It's so great, but they're expensive. I've been surprised at how expensive trains are. And, like I said, I've been applying for jobs everywhere, even in London. But part of something that you have to consider is if you have to take trains to get there, that's going to eat into your salary in a large way. Some numbers that we crunched when we were looking is like £10,000 a year if you have to go to London like 4 or 5 days a week for your job from about an hour away. That's a lot, and it's just because trains are very expensive. So I know there's the whole drama about how they've been privatized, etc. I won't have any input or comments about that because I don't know the right thing, but I will say that it is surprising to me how expensive trains are. But they're so good. They're so good. So I have to say the system's amazing, but I have been surprised by ticket prices, if that makes sense. So that's all I have. So wanted to update you guys on the journey, let you know where I was, what was going on, but also give you my thoughts on these things, because I have genuinely come into this experience as an immigrant to the UK of, I don't have any expectations of what this will be like. I'm going to use the knowledge of others that I find out there. I'm going to also be open-minded to my experience and what that's going to be like. There were people that when we told them we were moving to the UK, or that Alex was moving back to the UK, there was of course people that were like, oh, you're gonna hate it because of blah 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 blah. And so I did have this thing in my head where I was like, oh gosh, I hope not. I hope that I'm not gonna hate it. I hope these things are not going to be like such huge things that they impede in my daily quality of life, etc. But I really don't know. I don't know. That's not my experience, and that's not to discredit other people's experiences, but I love it here. I love the UK. It's such an amazing country. The people are so kind and so polite and so funny and so fun and so wonderful. And it's so amazing to just have healthcare and great food and have public transportation, and I love it. I don't know what to say. Again, I know I've only been here for going on 6 months, and that's very early in the journey. But so far, I really love the UK, and I love our house. I love how everything's kind of settled out. I just got to get that job. As soon as I get a job that I can say that I love, life will be golden. So, prayers and thoughts and wishes for me for good luck for my interview, and hopefully by the next time I see you guys, I'll hopefully have a job. I will update another video soon. I just am concentrating right now on finding a job and getting this bathroom squared away, because that's kind of been a bit of a stress that you're going to have this huge thing going on in your house, and as you can hear, it's a thing. All right, guys, so that's it for me. Let me know in the comments down below any questions that you have. I'd also be really interested in what kind of videos you'd like to see from me. I've done some travel videos. I've done some update videos. I've done a Q&A, but I'm totally open to take this channel where you guys would like to see this go. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to see and what you're thinking. And I hope everybody's doing great, and I wish everyone a happy 2026, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!